Hi, I'm Allison Dunlap, and welcome to Tips from a World Champion. Now that winter's here, this is a great opportunity to get to practice some of the technical mountain bike skills that you'll use on the trails when the weather improves and the snow melts. This is a great opportunity to work on just some of the basic core concepts of mountain biking. Whether they're brand new to you or whether it's review, I think it's important to come out and just make sure that you know what you're doing and that you're doing it correctly. What I want to show you today is two things: how to ride your mountain bike up a steep climb and how to get started on a steep climb. So say you're riding up some steep hill, you spin out, you have to stop. How do you get back on your bike and get going without having to push your bike all the way to the top? So what I'll first talk about is just riding your bike up a steep hill. So there's three problems that we run into when we're climbing a really steep hill. The first one, and I'm sure you've all experienced this, is as you're riding up a steep hill, especially single track, you find it really hard to keep the front wheel going straight. I know for myself, the front wheel drifts. Sometimes it'll go side to side, and eventually that's going to throw you off and cause you to unclip. The second issue is traction. Do you ever find that when you're climbing a steep hill, the back wheel spins out? That's also a problem that we have to deal with. The third issue with steep climbing is the front wheel tends to pop off the ground, tends to bounce or come off the ground. Especially going up really steep stuff, it can be very challenging to keep the front wheel on the ground. So those three problems, I have three solutions, of course. When you are climbing, the way to keep the front wheel on the ground is to drop your chest down towards your stem. So instead of climbing a hill like this, you're going to bend your arms and you're going to lean forward. You can see how close you can bring your chest to your stem and handlebars. The steeper the hill, the more you'll have to exaggerate. To keep the back wheel from spinning out, what you're actually going to do is, instead of sitting on the saddle, like you normally do, you're going to slide your butt forward and sit more on the nose of the saddle. What this does is it shifts the weight from kind of back here to more centered on the bike, and that's actually going to give you better traction. Another tip that will help you is, as you're leaning forward, notice my elbows. If I have my elbows out like this, it's very hard to maneuver the bike. What you want to do is drop those elbows down, bring them down close to your chest, look up the trail. That's going to eliminate that third issue of the bike doesn't want to go straight. The reason the bike doesn't go straight is because your eyes are looking straight down at your front wheel. In mountain biking, most of our difficulties stem from the fact that our eyes are looking too close to the front wheel. You want to lift the head, look at the top of the hill, drop those elbows, drop the chest, and scoot forward on that saddle. Those three things together are going to let you ride up that hill much better than probably what you were doing before. So let me just demonstrate. So my elbows are down, my head is up, I'm sitting forward on the saddle. Except for the snow on the ground, I wouldn't be able to ride to the top. So those things are going to help you ride up steep hills and be a lot more successful. Now I want to show you what to do if you're halfway up a hill, you spin out, you had to unclip, and now you want to get going again. So let's go back down here to the bottom. Alright, so you're partway up your hill, you want to get going again. The normal way that we get started on a trail is we swing our leg over, we clip one foot in, and then we push off with that other foot, sit on the saddle, and then pedal. But look what happens on a steep hill. You can't get enough momentum with that leg in the pedal in order to get enough speed to get your butt back on the saddle. You either spin out, or it's so steep that there's just not enough time. So what you're going to do instead is look at the trail and look for something that you could stand on. It could be a rock, it could be a root, even the trail. If the trail is kind of carved out on the edges of the trail that are a little bit higher, you can stand there. So I'm looking around here, there's not a whole lot to stand on, but the trail is a little bit higher here on the edge. And so I'm going to use this as the place that I'm going to stand. So once you find the spot, look at the trail. You want to make sure that there's not a lot of rock, not a lot of debris, because again, you're looking for the best traction that you can get on this climb. So find a place, you set your bike down. Because you're on a steep hill, you're going to want to grab your brakes so the bike doesn't go backwards. Okay? Then what I like to do is swing my leg over and straddle the bike. Alright? Got your brakes on. Now, you're going to stand on whatever it is, the cheater rock, the cheater's log. Here, I'm just going to stand on the higher part of the trail. Alright? Maybe this is a little better. Okay. Now, with the other foot, I'm going to clip in. Here's the most important part of this move. The reason that I have you stand on a cheater rock is so you can actually get your butt on the saddle. Okay? The reason for the rock is this is a pretty long reach. When you're sitting on your saddle and your toe is on the ground, you're pretty extended. So anything that can bring that foot a little bit higher is going to make you feel a little bit more balanced, a little more stable. So I'm sitting on the saddle, all my weight is on the saddle. That's super important. The foot that's clipped in is in the power position. So just a little bit forward of horizontal. Brakes are on. Now we're going to go into that same position that I just talked about for climbing steep hills. You're going to lean forward, you're going to drop those elbows, you're going to scoot forward a little bit on that seat, and your head's going to be up. You want to look where you want to go, okay? Once you're in that position, you're going to push with the leg that's clipped in. You're going to push with your toe. This foot's going to step on the pedal, and you're going to start pedaling in a nice smooth circle. What you don't want to do is, bam, push down super hard and cause the back wheel to spin out. Even though it's a powerful motion, it's very, very smooth and controlled. You keep that head up. And even if you can't get your foot clipped in, doesn't matter. Keep pedaling. You may not get your foot clipped in for a couple pedal strokes, and that's all right. Just don't give up. Keep pedaling and look where you're going to go. So when you do that right, it should look like this. So I'm forward, elbows down. Look at where I want to go. I push. So those three techniques for climbing a steep hill and then finding a cheater rock to get your foot on something so that you can start on a steep hill in the middle are going to help you be a lot more successful and hopefully keep you from having to push your bike more than you need to. So good luck, have fun, happy trails, and enjoy this wonderful winter weather.